And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical, more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs, such as one of my favorites called Something to Crow About, featuring Kenny and his master modulating rooster Henry. You'll have to check it out on our Qso-Vlog Highlights search on YouTube. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is part of the band that has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, you're up to a 9 right now. You're coming up. Very Q5 at rec. Of course, this is May 6th, 2022, and this morning, early, at around just before 2 a.m., I had a nice chat with a fellow on the North Island of New Zealand. Then following that, I did work with a fellow near Melbourne, Australia, and that was such a good QSO, even though I had the electrical noise on. It was horrible. He overrode it beautifully, and I ran a low power test down to maybe a tenth of a watt, and he did copy Q5, and I've got this on tape, and I'll play for it if you copy. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm copying you about 30 over on Milford, so go ahead, sir.
About 30 over on Milford, so go ahead, sir.
Okay, here it is. Now, it may act up for the first few seconds, but I hope not. Here we are.
A great takeoff into your direction, as you can see. And definitely get some great signals into the US. But I was beaming 100 QRZ now. I've seen this stage before, but I had a look at my log, and it looks like this is our first contact according to my log here. And fine business. The Icon 7300 sounding excellent, and booming with the Ameritron amplifier. I had a look recently at the prices of the Ameritron amplifiers, the high-end ones, and boy, oh boy, has the prices gone up. Looks like they've doubled now. I think you're sitting on a gold mine there with that Ameritron. But I do recall seeing all the wire antennas and all the wooden masts and everything you've got set up there. It reminded me of being down the bay and seeing all the yacht masts all over the place. So that's interesting. But it is booming. You know, you're really are strong here. And compared to other signals, I can see on the scope of this radio all the other signals there, and yours is super fantastic, coming through really strong, and the audio is excellent. What is the cause of the QRM that you're receiving there, Charlie? K1 Golf Zulu Lima, Victor Kilo 3, Mike Hotel.
Line noise.
Half and 5.5. And when you went down to 1 watt, you're a signal 7. And I assume you turned the 7300 down to 0%. That was signal 4, signal strength 4, and when you're on 1 watt, which I guess you had 1%, was signal strength 6 or so, and then anything above that was around a 7 to a 9, and the amplifier on brings you up to 20 over.
Okay, and I switched over to my other antenna, which is firing due south, and the same power, 1400 watts out. And Jim, believe it or not, my signal was the same in near Melbourne, Australia, firing, due south on that other antenna. I was hitting S1. I was running the same power into his receiver, as I was on my quad aimed at Melbourne, Australia, when I was only running 1 watt, KC9VKV. I hope you could copy this, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie, perfectly. And so why do you think that was?
Perfectly. So why do you think that was?
Well, the reason for that was the south antenna is firing directly south. So Australia is dead off the side of the south antenna, completely off the side of the west antenna. In other words, completely off the side. Whereas the quad, my 20-meter 4-element diamond-shaped wire quad with a Quaggy director out in front of it, which is, of course, half wave, was aimed directly at Melbourne. So the difference between the front and the back was between what I was on 1 watt on the quad and full blast on the quad. Not barefoot, but firing directly south. Melbourne is right off the end of the antenna, so my signal was no stronger than I was running 1,400 watts on the antenna aimed at Melbourne, which was the 4-element diamond-shaped wire quad. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, mysteries, I would think. It's just, I've often wondered why, maybe my signal to you might be hot, but your signal to me might not be that hot. And it would indicate that the two transmissions are seeking separate paths, Roger?
Are seeking separate paths, Roger?
Oh, yes. Yes. In fact, when I was working Captain Mike, there was a time that he was flying out of Miami, Florida, down into the Western Caribbean, right near Western Cuba, Jamaica, and all the way down toward Panama. And he could barely hear me at all on the one that was good into Australia. He was not copying me worth a darn on my Australian antenna. But when I went to the south antenna, firing about 300 miles east of Miami, it was much better, even when he was on the tarmac in Miami at that airport. However, he normally flies from East Coast to West Coast, Philadelphia to Sacramento and back in California. And out there, he doesn't hear me very well on the south antenna, like the Australian didn't, Jim.
Roger. Well, it's all a mystery, and it's one of those things that makes radio so interesting. It's just the differences of instead of Mother Nature being a same old broad, she's very interesting, Roger.
She's very interesting, Roger.
Oh, yeah, very interesting. Well, look, I'll let you get others that are coming in, and you're very Q5. You're not too strong today, but it's summertime, daytime absorption, but 20 meters last night here on the 6th of May, 2022, was gangbusters. It was incredible, believe me, Jim. Look, I'll catch you next week, hopefully, and if you want to change this to an hour later, I think you'd have a little better propagation. KC9VKV, K1GZL. There goes my voice.
Roger, Charlie. Well, we'll think about maybe moving that to an hour later and see, come up with some plan of action. We'll talk about it. 73, sir. Thanks for being aboard and all your wisdom and input. This is KC9VKV. Just a reminder, my name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. And these are some of our less technical, more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. So let's move along, open the show up. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Roger, Roger, Kilowatt, Zanzibar, 1 Hotel.
Something, Zanzibar Hotel. Come back slowly, phonetically, with the call sign.
Roger, Kilowatt, Zanzibar, 1 Hotel. I'll say again,
Kilo Zanzibar 1 Hotel, is that a Roger?
QSL, that's it, Jim.
Yes, sir. What's the name there, please?
The name of the city is Harry, Hotel, Alpha, Romeo, Yankee.
Was that Harry?
Affirmative, QSL.
Roger, Harry. And what's your location, sir?
I am in the northern part of Sierra Charlotte, South Carolina, not too far southwest of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, but you are in South Carolina, Roger?
QSL.
Alrighty. And Harry, what radio are you running, sir?
Running an icon and with 100 watts, and I'm using an in-bed half-wave located in my attic.
All right. Why don't you tell me in about 10 seconds or so about that antenna in your attic, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger?
Okay, I'll be glad to, Jim. That antenna was installed about 6 months ago by myself in the attic. It's about a 67-footer, made by myantennas.com, and it's done really well for me. I'm able to operate on 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, and a little bit of 75/80, so I'm very pleased with it. QSL?
Yes, sir, Harry. And okay, I'm picking you up better on my Arlington SDR. And why don't you repeat again the radio that you're running?
Roger, it's an Icon 7300 like so many of us are using. I've been very happy with it so far. It's doing great. I usually run it at 100 watts.
Yes, sir. That's the only way to run it. Now, if you're interested in our setup, it starts with first verifying your transmit bandwidth as being 100 to 2900. Is that a Roger?
100 to 2900. Is that a Roger?
Roger, I believe so, Jim. I'm not into all those details, so if you want me to confirm it, guide me through if you would.
We should be in settings, but why don't you take a note on that, note to self, check to be sure that you're running transmit bandwidth of 100 to 2900, and we can move along, and you just make that note and check it later, Roger?
And you just make that note and check it later, Roger?
Roger, I'm good. Got it. Thanks.
Alrighty, then we move to the compressor processor on, and at a 3 out of 10 for that 7300. Be at a 3, Roger?
300, be at a 3, Roger?
Roger, I'm running at a 4 compressor.
Alrighty, so move it to 3.
Alrighty, so move it to 3.
Alright, now I'm down at 3, Jim, down at 3.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation as you say the magic word audio. Should be, not too real sure. Settings, possibly, I'm not real sure, but it's, you should be able to get to it either through multi or settings.
Through multi or settings.
have it now. What setting should it run to? What level?
Mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain control as you say the word audio, and just say that word audio as the same strength as you would say any other word in a QSO.
Any other word in the QSO. Roger. Audio. 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 Stand by one. Audio. 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 Last step. Audio. That's now the 3/4 setting, maybe a little less. I'll drop it down. 1920. Audio. There's about 2/3 my part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And leave that, if you can, just leave that ALC meter out so you can look at it as you're talking. We'll probably want to move to your equalization page if you know how to get to that.
Equalization page, if you know how to get to that.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to take a note on that and dig it up myself, so even if I need to there, I don't know where that is.
Yes, sir, Harry. Okay, your bottom end is nice. You have a nice bottom end on the EQ curve, but what you might want to do is crank in about 3 clicks more treble EQ. 3 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are. Roger?
Treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
Right, 3 clicks on treble. Is that what you said, Jim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'll give you a little more articulation. And after you crank all that stuff in, maybe you can give me a shout next Friday, and we'll see how it sounds. Roger, Roger?
And we'll see how it sounds, Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Thanks for your help. It's clear, and I appreciate your help.
Roger, Roger, Harry, 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And I did not have a good copy on you as I would like, but if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. This will be cut number 1 of 2100 Qso-Vlog recordings. Regardless of what YouTube says, this will be cut number 1, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, Roger, and thanks again for all your help. I appreciate it. 73, KZ183.
Roger, Roger, Harry, 73, sir. And this is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and I'm kind of in the middle of a lightning storm. So far, it's nothing close, but, I can hear it coming. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout quick here before I maybe fold up.
KG4KCL.
KCL station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Slowly, phonetically with your call sign?
Absolutely. The call is Kilo Golf 4, Kilo Tango Lima, KT4KTL. Roger.
KTO, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there, sir?
Oh, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there, sir?
The name here is Scott. Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango.
Roger, Scott, and where are you located, sir?
Roger, Scott, and where are you located, sir?
I'm in the rare exotic and unincorporated town of Henderson, Tennessee.
Was that Henderson, Tennessee?
Was that Henderson, Tennessee?
Yeah, Henderson, Tennessee. That's right. Often mistaken for Hendersonville, but that's closer to Nashville. I'm in West Tennessee.
Ah, roger that. And Scott, what radio are you running, sir?
And Scott, what radio are you running, sir?
It's an ICOM 7600.
Roger, Roger. Well, if you're interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that your transmit bandwidth setting is 100 to 2900. Roger, Roger.
100 to 2900. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, I believe I have it as at that setting. I believe that's what I had. If you're looking at your scope, does that show about where I'm at? I should be around there.
Yeah, well, it's just, verify that, make a note to double check that. We want to move along now to the next part of our setup procedure, which involves getting that compressor processor on, and 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
Okay, so here's the thing: is what I'm doing is I'm running some
old rack here. I'm running Symmetrics 528. You're probably familiar with that, you being in broadcast. This piece belonged to my father, and he was in broadcast for 50 years, and he's silent key now. At any rate, he used to use it for voice tracking. So all I did is I just took it. I took this rack and I have it plugged up, and I interfaced it to the radio. It goes to Symmetrics 528, and then it goes to a Symmetrics 421, and then. That's kind of the EQing I'm using, not the EQing of the radio per se.
Roger, Scott. Now, are you coming in high level in the back, or are you coming in low level on the mic input?
Coming in low level on the mic input. I'm using a W2I box, so I'm coming right into the front of the mic input.
Alrighty. The thing you have to be careful about is that your internal mic gain needs to be around 5, because if you get you have to be careful not to get too hot going into your mic front end. So, and the way you double check that is that you put your internal mic gain at 5 and then adjust everything else outboard to make it work right. Roger.
Make it work right, Roger. You're saying on the radio itself, it would make the internal mic gain at 5. You just everything at 5 then? 05?
Yes, sir. In other words, you want to be sure that you don't wind up on your internal mic gain around 1, or 1.5, because that could indicate that you might be feeding too much too hot audio into your mic, internal mic level input. So by putting that internal mic gain at 5, that will assure you that the level that you're coming in with is in the correct ballpark. Roger?
In the correct ballpark, Roger. Okay, all right, so looking at the mic gain potentiometer here, I'm looking at the knob, and it shows, I'm looking if we're looking at the clock, okay, it doesn't have any numeric markings on it, but if we were looking at a clock, I would say we're probably at about 10 o'clock there, Roger.
Are you for your mic gain, Roger?
Are you for your mic gain, Roger? Yes, for the mic gain, that's correct.
For the internal radio mic gain, Roger?
For the internal radio mic gain, Roger. That is the mic gain on the radio, correct.
All right, 10 o'clock is probably okay. Noon would be better, but, you're probably all right at 10, but just a rule of thumb, you want to be right in that mid-sweet spot just to be sure that you're well within not overloading your mic preamp in the radio. Roger?
Preamp in the radio, Roger. Okay. Yeah, the goal was within this, of course, was to stay within the ALC range, and so I'm doing that. I'm within the parameters of that as it stands right now. Last time we spoke, I was this was about a month ago, I suppose. We were on a whole different setup. I was on a W2I 8-band EQ and EQ Plus and different mic. You got me set up on that. It's really fine. But I noticed when I plugged up the rack here, I had to do a little adjustment to the mic gain in order to stay within the ALC parameters.
Yes, Roger. Okay, and so on your ALC, we recommend you run that ALC mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3, and you get there by your mic gain control, and you could use your internal mic gain for that adjustment if you like, or you could use the external. However it is, the word is audio. The word spoken just as you would normally speak a word in a QSO, not to overemphasize, but just audio. And you can see your ALC meter very well that way. And we want it mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Want it mid-scale to 2/3. Roger? Roger that. Yeah, that's about where we're going to be a little hot here. Back off a little bit here. All right, then we'll go ahead and we'll call that. Yeah, okay. I had a little hot, so I'm sitting here probably at about, I don't know. Yeah, it's still just a touch below 10 o'clock then.
All right. The main thing is the ALC is at mid-scale to 2/3, and that 2/3 is important. It's just over mid-scale, but mid-scale to 2/3, and that will give you a 3 dB dynamic range, and that would mean that your average percent of peak modulation would be from 80 to 85% at that setting. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Okay, well, hey, man, I thank you so much for taking time out and giving us a listen and everything. And I know you have storms in your area. We just had some thunder boomers flow through here, out here in Tennessee and West Tennessee. So, yeah, it's pretty wild, that's for sure. But other than that, does it sound okay as far as everything else goes?
Yes, sir. I've got you on my local antenna, which is down to 100 cycles. So you're, you could use just maybe a click on the bottom end, around 200 cycles or so, if you wanted to.
Okay, let me take a look here. On the low, so let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more. All right, is that too much, or did that make a difference at all? KG4 KTL.
Sounds pretty good. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system?
All right, so the antenna is an off-center fit dipole, and this off-center fit dipole is at about 70 feet, and it's fed to the trees. I have 3 trees that are supporting this antenna, and so that's kind of how it works. The rig rundown is a Electric horsepower 827 into a symmetric 528, and then to a symmetric 421, on out to the ICOM 7600, and then to an SP220 amplifier, built in 1971, the same year I was born. So it's as old as I am and still kicking. And that's doing 1,000 watts out to the tuner, which is an old SA2060 heat kit as well. And that's the setup there. How does that sound? Okay.
Yes, sir, Scott. I'm getting bounced around with thunder hits, so it's really hard to, in addition to everything, I've got a spectrum analyzer, and of course the spectrum analyzer gets spooked every time Mother Nature throws a thunder boot at us. So it's sounding good, and also my it could be a better day, but anyway, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Roger. Okay, well, so we added some lows. To recap here, we added some lows to the EQ there on the parametric EQ, and running within the ALC range. And everything like that. I understand you have thunder boomers out there. So 73 from Tennessee. It was nice talking to you. KG4 KTL.
Roger, sir. 73, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo India 4, Zulu Delta Echo.
Zulu Delta Echo. Come back and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Okay then. Hey, the call on this Kilo India 4, Zulu Delta Echo, QSL.
Zulu Delta Echo, Roger. What's the name there?
Hey, the name on this end is Jed, Juliet Echo Delta, here in Benton, Kentucky.
That's Jed in Kentucky, is that Roger?
Yeah, that's right. We're down here in the western end of Kentucky, right around the Kentucky Lakes here.
Roger. We're up towards Louisville, just on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Sure enough. Yeah, I tell you. Sure enough. Hey, well, you got a pretty good pipeline going down today.
Roger, you got a little lightning up here. You got any lightning down your way?
Yes, we do. We do have lightning, and it's not as bad as it was. It's getting better here. Up towards
Yeah, roger, roger. And let's see, what radio are you running, Jed?
Okay, the rig on this end is WSP200 heat shield amplifier over here, just turned on, letting it warm up a minute. And I tell you what, got a SM30 Icon desk mic, and this is going outside to a off-center fed dipole at about 32 feet.
Roger, roger. Now, would that be a resonant dipole?
Not really. This thing is probably only about a 2 to 1. Probably about 2 to 1 without running to a tuner. I'm running to a 10-tech tuner, and it's flat. It still doesn't make that antenna resonant out there. It's not near as good as I'd like it to be, but it's really good. It's practically flat. 10-620, it's practically flat, and I'll just run out. I'm in the process of putting up some other antennas, but it's been pouring down rain, terrible weather here, so it just has to wait.
Roger, roger. Well, I hope your amp is up and ready to go, sir. I sure could use it. I hope your amp is up and ready to go, sir. I sure could use it.
Okay there, I'll tell you what then, let me... Okay, here we go. See what they say. Maybe they got me up out of the static a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice. All right. So now, why don't you give me what radio you're running again? I couldn't copy it last time.
Okay, them static crashes must be killing me on your end. Yeah, I'm running an OICOM 756 Pro 2 with a SM30 desk mic. Oh, I tell you, let's see, we're doing about 700 watts out of this little heat shield amplifier here on the desk. About 700 watts out of this little heat shield amplifier here on the desk. That's going outside to that off-center fed dipole. That's about the story on this end today.
Roger, roger, Jed. Well, I'm copying you best down in Georgia, matter of fact. So I'm using my Georgia SDR at the moment. If you're interested in our setup procedure, it starts with verifying that you're running in the 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Does that sound about right for you? Transmit bandwidth. Does that sound about right for you?
Yeah, I think so. Sure enough.
Roger, roger. Well, we want to operate that radio in the widest transmit bandwidth setting possible. So, as long as it's not over 2900, ideally 100 to 2900. So, and then move to your processor compressor. We want it on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger, just a third of it, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on the compressor processor. 10 or 30 out of 100 on the compressor processor.
All right. That ought to be right in the ballpark right there. Let's see here. I better get this thing. I'd like to get this meter running, tell more about the compression on it.
Okay, so it sounds a little heavy. We're just looking for about a third of it, so that's when we say a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100 input level to the compressor. 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of its capabilities, Roger. 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of its capabilities, Roger.
Okay, I backed it off a little bit there, and I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get it too hot there. I did turn it down a little bit.
Roger. Do you have input levels like 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 settings on your input level control? 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 settings on your input level control?
I probably do. I tell you what, right now I just turned when I was first talking to you, it was just off. I had the compressor turned off. So now the compressor's turned on, and it's just about 1/4 of the way up. I just go like the clock, looking at a face on the clock. I've got it at about the 9 o'clock, maybe 8:30 or 9 o'clock position on the radio.
Yes, sir. That's good. That's good. Now let's go to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, audio, and you say that word just like you would say any other word in a QSO, audio. As you look at your ALC meter, we want it to run mid-scale to 2/3, and you adjust your mic gain to put it there. Roger?
Scale to 2/3, and you adjust your mic gain to put it there. Roger?
All right, there. Let's see what we got here going on. I'm looking at that. That thing is peeking out. It's peeking out, I mean, just right at the very top of the ALC range. Maybe bump just the width of the needle past it. And that's, but talking in a normal voice, it's peeking out right at the very top of the scale most of the time.
All right, so what I'm saying is that the word is audio, audio. And you say audio because it gives you a nice, clean reference on that meter so you can see it real easy. So, and what we want to do is adjust by way of your mic gain control as you say the word audio. We want that meter to be mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC meter. Roger?
Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC meter. Roger?
Audio. Audio, where's that? That's about 2/3 of the way right there on audio. Yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, now let's move to your equalization page. And tell me what kind of equalizer you have there. Is it a 3-band, 8-band, or parametric, or what?
3-band, 8-band, or parametric, or what?
I'd have to go into the menu on this thing and take a look at it. Yeah, I think on transmit, if you just give me a minute, I can probably give you a little bit better answer to that.
I'll tell you what, Jed, why don't I give you a note, and then you can take the note and then find it at your leisure. You need about 3 clicks more treble boost from where you are, plus 3 clicks treble boost additional from where you are. Roger, Roger?
Treble boost additional from where you are. Roger, Roger?
Okay, I'll get a note of that right there, and need a little bit more, about 3 more clicks on the treble.
Yes, sir. I think that would do you very nicely, and we are recording this, so if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of 2100 Qso-Vlog recordings. And YouTube may not say it, but it will be cut number 1, and we'll have it uploaded by tomorrow at noon. Roger?
1, and we'll have it uploaded by tomorrow at noon. Roger?
Yeah, roger that. Give me your call again, please.
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and I'll repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Okay then, yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. I've always wondered what this thing sounded like on the other end, so I can check on that.
Alrighty, and I just got you back on my local antenna again, so why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me what you like best about your radio.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, this radio here, I like to receive on it real well. I had 2 of them sitting side by side when I bought it, and I picked this one here because I kind of thought the receive was a little bit better on it. And it's an older radio. I've had this thing probably about 12, 13 years now, and it hasn't missed a lick. And I hate to even say that, knock on wood, but I like to receive in the thing, and the band scope in it big enough you can see real well without. And I don't have a monitor or any of that. But anyway, the radio's given me good service, and I've been real impressed with it overall. It's been good output on the transmit. Right up there around 100 watts or better on all bands, so it's fairly selective too, as far as strong signal rejection, so been a great rig for me, and I'm going to keep on running it for a while. KI4 Zulu Delta Echo.
Roger, Jed. And well, I've got a suggestion for you. Why don't you leave your ALC meter out for the next week or so, and give you something to do as you QSO, just to be looking at your ALC meter as you speak. And by voice, try to keep that meter right in the mid-scale to 2/3 position by voice control. In other words, develop a relationship between your voice and the ALC meter. Roger?
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah. Yeah, a person doesn't want to run one too hot. Yeah, person. And get mice hungry. Get a little hungry on that mice there and get it driving it a little too hard there, but yeah, it is something to keep an eye on. I usually keep it over on the standing wave, looking watch the standing wave on one. But that ALC watch would be a good thing too.
Yeah, you'll be amazed that within a week or so you'll be able to just command that ALC right in the sweet spot by just voice control. So, Jed, I think we got it, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And if you want to check in next week, we're Friday afternoons, 3:30 till 5 on the Qso-Vlog net. And let me hear what you sound like with that additional 3 clicks of treble EQ boost. Roger?
Yeah, that sounds like a winner. It sure does. Hey, I appreciate the QSO and the help Justin on the radio there, and we'll look for you again around here. KC9VKV, KI4 Zulu Delta Echo will be clear on your phone. Thanks again for the help.
Roger, Jed 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We are recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Oscar 9 Delta.
Kilo Oscar station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo Oscar 9 Delta.
Roger. This is KC9VKV. What's the name there?
I didn't quite catch what you said. I was looking out the window here. I got some pretty fancy birds here that I ain't seen in a while up here on the hill here, and I kind of got distracted.
Roger that. Name here is Jim Juliet India Mike. This is the Qso-Vlog net, and if you're interested in a setup procedure, it starts with you verifying your transmit bandwidth as 100 to 2900. That sound familiar to you?
Well, I guess so. How does it sound?
Well, I mean, who knows? But I'm saying you have a better choice of sounding beautiful in the 100 to 2900. It's a matter of depending on your radio. What radio are you running, sir?
Yaesu 1200.
Alrighty, what's the name and where you're located?
Well, the name is Jim here, and I'm located in Linden, Tennessee.
Roger, Jim, and that's a Yaesu 1200. Was that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that an older radio? I'm not familiar with that.
I guess so. It ain't real old, but I think they quit making them about a year or two, a couple of years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, I guess.
Oh, roger that. Well, our setup procedure after, we get it to that 100 to 2900 mode would be to check in with the compressor processor on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. It's just a token amount, but it does what we needed to do to arrive at a 3 dB dynamic range at the end of our setup. So it would be compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Roger that. Okay, well, most people say it sounds pretty good. I'm just using an old, a Behringer microphone, like a $30 microphone, and that's about it, running it through an AL80A, and That's about it, but I got to jump out of here. I got to cut it quick because I got to run down to the bus stop and pick up my granddaughter because it's raining outside.
Roger, Jim. Well, our procedure would move to your ALC to, if you would take a quick note there, ALC, just by mic gain control, where you say the magic word audio to set it at mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC by way of mic gain manipulation, and then to your EQ page, I would punch that treble EQ up about 3 clicks additional boost from where you are.
Okay, well I got to run. Maybe I'll get back on when I get back. I just got to run up the road here. KO9D, good talking to you. Everybody out there listening, have a fine day. KO9D here in Linden, Tennessee.
Roger, Jim 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and we record now live till 5, or until the lightning storm drives us out, whichever comes first. But if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo Oscar 4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign again, please.
Phonetically with your call sign again, please. Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot Charlie Oscar.
Foxtrot Charlie Oscar, Roger, and what's the name there?
Name is Bob, B.O.B., located in Dallas, Tennessee.
Roger, Bob, and what radio are you running, sir?
I've got a Yaesu SDDX.
Okay, HCDX10, is that a Roger?
HCDX10, is that a Roger? Roger, HCDX10.
Alrighty, if you're interested in a set of procedures, starts with you verifying your transmit bandwidth to be 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with that setting, 100 to 2900?
Setting 100 to 2900?
All right, let me give you a note to self. When you can, at your leisure, check your transmit bandwidth setting, and it should be set to wide 100 to 2900. Wide 100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth. Roger?
On your transmit bandwidth. Roger? Roger.
All right, now let's move to the compressor processor. Be on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. The compressor processor on and a token amount, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
30 out of 100. Roger?
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain for mid-scale to 2/3 reading on your ALC meter. Okay, and Bob, don't necessarily stress that word too hard. Say that word just as you would say any other word in a QSO, like audio. Don't really stress it, just to make it natural, Roger?
Just to make it natural, Roger? Roger. Audio.
All right, so that looks like mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Looks like mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
All right, then so now let's move to your equalization page. And what type of equalizer do you have? Is it a 3-band, 2-band, 8-band, or what, sir?
8-band or what, sir? I'm not sure about that.
All right, let me give you a note to self. We want to increase your treble EQ by 3 clicks boost from where you are. 3 clicks boost, treble EQ from where you are. Roger?
EQ from where you are. Roger? Roger.
Yeah, and you can do that at your leisure when whenever you can find time or work to get to that equalizer. You just want to increase your treble EQ by 3 clicks from where you are.
By 3 clicks from where you are. Roger.
And Bob, why don't you tell me about your antenna for 10 or 15 seconds, Roger?
For 10 or 15 seconds, Roger. Antenna is a dipole cut to 40 meters up about 50 feet going through the trees. SWR is a 1.2.
Roger that, roger that. Well, there's my tuning method for the dipole is I'm not using a transformer, so I've got one side of that dipole has the ground on it, and the ground side of the dipole, I use that to make adjustments for minimum SWR. On the ground side of the dipole, I use that to adjust minimum SWR. And then on the high side of the dipole, I use that to bring it back onto the frequency that I'm looking for. Because as you do one, you alter the other. So I do SWR minimum adjustments on the ground side and bring it back onto frequency on the high side of the dipole. Roger?
On the high side of the dipole, Roger? Roger.
And by doing that, you can walk that SWR down to this. The one I'm on is a resonant dipole antenna with a standing wave of 0.05, so it's way down there, Roger.
So it's way down there, Roger. Roger, you sound real good here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And the neat part about that, when you get that SWR down there, and particularly like on a resonant dipole antenna, so you're not having to use antenna tuner and all that stuff, Roger?
Antenna tuner and all that stuff, Roger? Roger. I'll certainly work on that.
Yes, sir. It takes a little time, but just remember, adjust your minimum SWR on the ground side of that dipole, and then bring it back onto. Usually you're looking for a mid-frequency of the band as a point. It's the absolute minimum SWR on the middle of the band, whatever that is, if you're setting up for 40 or 20, whatever, just to use a mid-band frequency to do that. So then, once you get that SWR down, then you have room to move off to one side of the band or the other, and that SWR is going to stay low. Roger?
That SWR is going to stay low, Roger. Information.
Roger, Bob. And if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of 2,100 some odd Qso-Vlog recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger. What was your call sign again?
Roger, it's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And I repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Yes, sir. That's it. So let me say threes to you there, Bob, and thanks for dropping by, Roger.
Bob, and thanks for dropping by, Roger. 73. Q4CO.
Roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Station calling, come back one more time with your call sign. All right, I got Kilo 4 something in Japan. So one more time phonetically, and I should have it. Roger?
And I should have it. Roger? K4MWJ.
That's MWJ, is that a Roger?
MWJ, is that a Roger?
Try it one more time there. I'm working on my local antenna trying to pull you out. Roger? Stand by just a minute. I think my radio is spooked by a lightning hit. Stand by just a minute. Okay, I've got it back up now. And so MWJ, what's the name there?
My name is Monroe. Monroe, Mike Oscar, November, Romeo Oscar, Echo, here in Chattanooga, over.
Monroe in Chattanooga, roger, roger. And what's the radio you're running, Monroe?
It's the way I want it, I don't know. I just want to know how it sounds to you. It's FTDX101 Delta on a Mosley beam pointed in your direction, coming out of 100.
All right, Monroe, I've got you on my local antenna, but you're kind of coming and going. You do have quite a bit of bass response. Do you know how to get to your EQ?
Yeah, I do.
All right, what I want you to do for right now is roll 2 clicks off your bottom end, at least, maybe 3. Roll 3 clicks off your bottom end on EQ. Is that a 3-band or what?
Is it what now?
What kind of equalizer do you have? Is it a 3-band, 2-band, 8-band, or what kind of equalizer do you have?
I don't have an equalizer. I'm using the radio.
The radio has an equalizer, roger, roger?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm going to. Hold on a minute. Okay, I got my 12 minutes. Is 100 hertz.
All right, so roll 3 clicks off. 3 clicks off on your bottom EQ, off that 100, roger. -3 from where you are on that 100 cycles.
Okay, where I got it set is EQ1 is on the 100 hertz. And the level is 10 and the bandwidth is 3.
Is that a 10 boost? Is that what it is on 100 cycles?
Yes, on the 100 cycles, yeah, 100 hertz.
Oh, and a 10 boost, is that right?
Yeah, on the level is 10.
Okay, pull that back to about a 7. Pull that bass boost back to about a 7, roger?
Okay, that's on the level, about a 7?
Yes, sir, level.
Okay, hold on, let me write this down, because I don't want to... Okay, I had it on 10. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's a 7 on EQ1 level.
Okay, now EQ2 should be about 8, 9, 1 kc, somewhere in there. 800 cycles, 900 to 1 kc. We want that one flat. That mid EQ, we want that one flat. Roger?
flat. I got it on 700 hertz.
Yes, okay, just flat, though. Neither cut nor boost, Roger.
Okay, so the middle one is causing too much bass?
No, it's just that, well, I have to explain to you about an equalizer. An equalizer is a top to mid-range balance and a bottom to mid-range balance. If you boost the mid-range, then it makes the top and bottom so much harder to catch up. So we want to keep that mid-range EQ flat. Neither cut nor boost on that mid-range EQ. Roger?
Okay, well, the mid-range is, I got the bandwidth is 3 on EQ1. On EQ2 is 700 hertz. I'm just telling you what I got it set. Paramedic is on 700 hertz. The level is on -3, and the bandwidth is on 7. That's the middle.
Gosh, what's the name? I didn't even get the name. What's your name down that way, Twitch, Tennessee?
Monroe, over.
Oh, I did get it, but my pen is messing up, and I can't read my writing. I did get that. All right, Monroe, the thing is, let me guide you here, and we'll get this thing done. We want everything, are you saying you have a 4-band EQ? Okay, so the top EQ, number 3, top EQ, that should be 2.6K, 2.6K with a width of 4. Your treble EQ, number 3, should be 2.6K, width of 4, and plus 3 from where you are, level-wise. Additional 3 clicks boost on the treble EQ, number 3, from where you are. Roger?
Here, Rod, I tell you what, I'm gonna get my monitor on and listen to it and adjust it because I'm kind of getting confused with what you actually did. But anyway, I appreciate it, Jim. Okay.
Roger, Monroe, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Got about 10 minutes now before we turn into a pumpkin at the top of the hour. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me
Yankee, Uniform, Tango.
Station ending in Tango. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Kilo 4, Yankee, Uniform, Tango.
Roger, uniform, Yankee Uniform Tango. And what's the name there, please?
The name is Jackie.
Try one more time, please.
Jackie, Julia, Alpha, Starter, Kilo, Yankee.
All right, copy Jackie. Is that a Roger?
That's Roger.
Roger, Jackie. And whereabouts are you located, sir?
Located in Wellington, Alabama.
Alrighty, and what radio are you running, Jackie?
I'm running the ICOM 7300 off-center fed dipole.
Roger, Jackie. Okay, first thing would be to check your transmit bandwidth. We want it to be set in the wide mode, 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir. That's where it's set.
Excellent. Now move to your compressor processor on, and 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, whichever nomenclature matches what you have there.
It's 3 out of 10, 3.
Yes, sir. All right, now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, audio, and you say that word just like you would say any other word in the QSO. You don't stress it or anything, just audio. Adjust your ALC meter from mid-scale to 2/3 by way of your mic gain control. Roger? Alrighty, and then I would move to my equalization page. Do you know how to get there?
Tell me through it.
Well, gosh, I think it's in settings. Sideband, transmit sideband, tone control. Repeat.
I found it on RX or TX.
Alrighty, so what we want to do there is increase your treble EQ by 3 clicks boost from where you are. Treble EQ boost, 3 clicks from where you are. Roger?
Treble up 3 clicks.
That's a Roger. All right, how are we doing there? All right, now I want you to give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
I like my radio. I like it because it was reasonable and it didn't cost a whole lot and it's easy to learn. And, well, it's a pretty good radio.
Okay, Jackie, now are you about 3 inches from your microphone, Roger? Alrighty, so now I want you to go to your bass EQ and punch that up 2 clicks boost from where it is. Bass EQ up 2 clicks boost from where it is. Alrighty, so I want you to tell me in 10 seconds about your antenna system. Give me 10 seconds about your antenna system, Roger? Kind of lost you just a little bit there, Jackie. Conditions are kind of in and out. Try one more time there. Tell me about your antenna system.
Yes, sir. I have an all-bed dipole. In the center, it's about 30 foot off the ground, and on the ends, I have it about 10 feet from the ground. Roger?
Yes, sir. Okay, sounds good. And what I want you to do is to leave your ALC meter out for the next week or so, give you something to do as you're transmitting. I want you to watch your ALC meter and try to use your voice to command that ALC meter into the sweet spot, which is mid-scale to 2/3. Halfway between mid-scale and 2/3 is the ideal sweet spot. So as you're talking, you're looking at your ALC meter, think about trying to keep that meter right in the sweet spot. Roger?
So about halfway to 2/3.
Yes, sir. The sweet spot is exactly mid-scale between mid-scale and 2/3. Halfway between mid-scale and 2/3 is the sweet spot.
found.
Roger, roger, Jackie, and we'll be posting this recording up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it will take you to this recording. It will be this will be cut number 1 of a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger. All right, Jackie, I have lost you now, buddy, so let me say 73. Thanks for dropping by. If you get a chance, drop back in tomorrow or Friday, next Friday, and let me hear you with those EQ situations and make sure, because I have a better copy to probably next Friday than I do right now. I'm facing a lot of lightning hits right now. Roger, roger. So 73, and this is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Have room for one more. We got about 4 minutes before 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Echo 3, Papa Charlie Papa.
Papa Charlie Papa. Gosh, what's going on up that way?
Charlie Papa, gosh, what's going on up that way?
Good afternoon, Jim. Well, just got home from work a few minutes ago, so I thought I'd jump in here and do the recording that I'd promised to do with you at some other time. It seems that the things are a little bit clearer today than they have been in the past, so I've got the record button pushed right now, so I'll be recording your audio. I don't know what rig you're on now, whether you're on the one you wanted to test or not, but it's being recorded, and I can put it up to YouTube later on and send it to you. QSO.
Roger, roger. Well, right now I'm just using my regular radio. I still have the 7300 in the wings. You know, that's that old thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm just hanging out on the 7300 till, you know, I need to do something. So I'm just holding it in standby. Roger, roger.
In standby. Roger, roger.
Yeah, roger, roger. No, understood completely, and no problem. But anyway, I heard you in there, and conditions are not as good as what they sometimes are, but I'm still hearing you here about 5 over 9, I guess, 9 S9 plus 5, so not too bad a signal here today. And we've been pretty busy with our remote station. We've been doing a international YL and youth remote operation, and got a special call, or a new call sign for that operation. It's Victor Alpha 3 Yankee Lima Radio. So we have 7 YLs from 5 different countries and 4 young operators from 2 different countries. So we did an operation here a few weeks ago. QSO.
Roger, roger. Now, what radio are you running right at the moment? Are you running remote now or direct?
Running right at the moment. Are you running remote now or direct?
No, I'm sitting in the station, but I always run the radio through the remote software, so it's a Kenwood TS850, and the same one I've checked in with you quite a number of times, QSO.
Roger, roger. And this is your remote setup, Roger?
Roger, roger. And this is your remote setup, Roger?
Yes, QSL, it is the remote setup.
Man, really sounding good. Really nice. Did an excellent job there, buddy.
Really nice. Did an excellent job there, buddy.
Well, thanks very much. Yeah, the biggest challenge with having all those different operators from different countries and different equipment that their computers that they're using is trying to get everyone's audio balanced and the right level and that sort of thing, which is a bit of a challenge. But anyway, once we're on the air, we're being heard, and that's the main thing, QSO.
Roger, roger. All right, well, let me jump out of here. Good to hear you. Thanks for checking in. And I see by the wall on the fly, there's a... I see by the clock, I got to get out of here. It's been one of them days, man. I have had so many lightning hits, I think I'm supercharged. I'm in Nova right now, Roger.
Supercharged. I'm in Nova right now, Roger.
Yeah, QSL. Well, we've got a beautiful day here today. It's about probably 20 degrees Celsius and nice bright sunshine, so it's supposed to be like that for the next 5 or 6 days, so we're looking forward to it. Anyway, I'll send you a link to, I'll upload this, and I'll also send you a link to our last operation, and you can take a listen. So, good to hear you in there. Thanks for being there and doing what you do, 7-3, and we'll catch up again later on. KC9VKV 3 PCP.
Roger, Roger, sir. 73 out that way, and we've got to get out of here. Thanks for dropping by. If you folks have participated and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, that will take you into this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. So we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV Clear.